Welcome to the Popcorn Talk Network, for the online broadcast network that features movie discussion, news, and interviews. Press 1.
Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. From the Popcorn Talk Network, the online broadcast network for movie talk, and the schmoes know, this is Meet the Movie Press, roundtable movie news and commentary from the industry's premier film journalists.
Hello, happy Friday, and welcome.
We talk
to
movies.
Wow, I'm so confused. Are we live? Are we live now? Are we good? Okay. Hey, everyone. Sorry, technical issues, but we're getting through it. We are powering through this on this Friday. It is Meet the Movie Press. I am Mark Reilly, editor-in-chief of schmoesknow.com. Thank you for joining us. Guys, if you are on my Twitter account, @ReillyAround, please check it because we have moved the live chat from youtube.com/Popcorn Talk Network to AfterBuzz TV. We had some tech issues, but we are live. We are streaming live. We are on youtube.com/AfterBuzz TV. So head on over there. I see a bunch of you in the chat room. We got it covered. We are going to be taking your comments. We're going to do some hopeful news break. We are going to talk about everything that's broken this week. And sitting to my right, let's just get right to it because we're late, is my very good friend. Somebody that... how do I describe this? He is a wonder kid. He is a young lad. He sent me an email a couple years ago wanting to write for schmoesknow.com. And pay attention, everybody. This is how he got the gig. He sent me the best sample I've ever read, and he sent it in his query. I read it. I immediately asked if he wanted to write. 2 years later?
Yeah.
About almost 2 years later. He is the managing editor of schmoesknow.com. He got picked up by geeknation.com. They made him a junior editor over there. This guy, come on, you're taking all the work out there, buddy. But it's Alex Welch. Welcome to Meet the Movie Press for the first time.
Thank you for having me, man.
Man, my buddy is here. Jeff Sneider, as you know, guys, is covering the Toronto International Film Festival. So go ahead and tweet at the Sneider. He is covering it. I can't wait to have him on next week because we're going to get to talk about everything. But so go ahead, tweet at the Sneider. Tell him you miss him here on Meet the Movie Press, and let's get right to it. Hey, Alex.
Hey, man. How's it going?
Good. That was crazy.
That was crazy.
We had a bunch of tech issues, and I sat in about an hour and a half of traffic just to get here.
It's so hot, and the traffic makes it worse.
And it is, my God, 95 degrees out there at 7 a.m. in the morning, and it's going to just probably get to about 115 degrees. Everybody in the valley in Los Angeles is going to spontaneously combust, and it's going to be awful. But anyways, that's beside the point. Alex, man, how are you, man?
I'm good and tired. How are you?
I'm good and tired too. Yeah, you've been killing it lately. So what we always do when we get somebody who is in the press, the movie press as it were, we ask, how you kind of started. And I kind of already gave them
a little bit
the information. You emailed me. Let's start there. How'd you find schmoesknow.com and my email address? If I could, because I don't remember.
I do remember.
Okay, do it.
Well, I was a fan of the Schmoes beforehand, and then when the new site launched in like May 2013, I think.
Yep, exactly.
I remember because you had that Iron Man 3 podcast where you just ranted about JTE that one time.
Yeah, that's right.
And I loved the new site. Loved it.
Yeah.
I was surprised by how well you were covering it too. Like, I had been getting into movie news pretty steadily over like the past year and a half before, so I was pretty caught up on what was happening.
Nice. Okay.
And I love to write my whole life, and I think it was like, I don't know, probably September, I tweeted you, and I asked, because I knew you guys were looking for writers, I asked, how can I write for the site?
Nice.
And you tweeted me back, and you said, email this email on the website and submit something. And I don't even think you said submit something.
Okay,
and
I don't remember any of this, but this is awesome. I love hearing about it. So continue, please.
And then, like, I don't know, like a month later, I think I just sent you in a Citizen Kane write-up and said, I'd like to write for you if you'll let me.
If I remember correct, that was your sample, but you were also suggesting like a sort of feature on the site, like covering old movies.
Yeah, I was going to do like a classic movies, because the schmoes don't get the chance to talk about classic movies all that much on the podcast.
Right.
And I love them. My favorite movie of all time is Rear Window.
There you go.
I love classic movies.
How old are you again?
I'm 18.
Jesus, mother, how the hell is this going on? Okay, keep going.
And so I just figured, it'd be cool to bring a little bit of a classic movies twist to the site where people can talk about their favorites.
Yeah.
Whether it be the obvious ones like Casablanca or like lesser known ones.
Yeah.
Like Notorious, which is a really underrated Hitchcock movie in my opinion.
Right.
And so, I just asked you, what do you think about this idea? Mm-hmm. And we ran with it for a while. And then I remember you said, would you be interested in covering news as well? And I wasn't at first.
Oh,
and I said, yeah, why not? I'd love to write.
Yeah.
And you said, okay, send me a sample when you can. Mm-hmm. I jumped on it. I wrote up a story about that Sandman movie that's happening with Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
That's right. And I posted that.
Like right away.
Yeah, it was so good. I was just like, boom.
Yeah.
Up. Yeah, that's how, I just immediately knew, and I do get a lot of tweets out there, guys, out there in Schmoville and out there on Popcorn Talk Network and or AfterBuzz TV. If you're listening, the best way to do it is not just send, and this is for everything out there. If you're wanting to write for a website, or if you're wanting to write anywhere, or even your screenwriters out there, your novelists out there, a very strongly formatted query letter does wonders, as well as a wonderful sample that has no typos, no grammar, get your voice across. I can't tell you how many times I get people like, hey, can I write for the site? And that's it, and there's not even a period.
Yeah.
And it's that just turns everybody off. Me too, but I try to read everything, but sorry, that's my little PSA?
Just proofread,
exactly. But Alex, you were right on with your sample. I saw something, and Alex then kept Schmoes Know alive through a lot of me moving around in jobs and everything. So it was really interesting. And then kind of tease something that Christian Harloff teased last night on the main show. Schmoesknow.com there's something amazing happening with it, and we can't really talk about it yet, but I love to tease, because we're going to announce something very soon, and I can't wait for you guys to hear what we're doing over at schmoesknow.com. So all of you listening right now, maybe in iTunes, or you're watching live on YouTube, and you're checking out Twitter and all that kind of stuff, go visit schmoesknow.com. Give a heads up to all the wonderful writers we have there. Not only Alex, but Aaron Parisian, Christopher Skalicki. Who else do we got over there? We have Stacey Howard. We have Matt Brown.
Yes.
We have Liam Gaunt. Hi, Liam, you're going to kill me. I can never
pronounce it.
And pronounce your last name, dude. But and we just brought on a couple others. We brought on John Roca from Top 10 is going to be writing for us as well. Rachel J. Cushing is writing for us as well.
Yes.
I'm sorry, have I missed anyone?
We have a new addition, but I don't know if we can announce him yet or not.
Oh, you mean Corey?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to announce Corey.
Okay.
Corey Knott is also on there. He fired one off last night, Mallrats 2 report that he hit up, and he just sent in a Deadpool article that we're going to get up there as soon as we can after we're done taping.
Yeah.
So guys, some very exciting stuff for schmoesknow.com. Go ahead over there, just visit it, schmoesknow.com. Click around, and let's start with the news, because this is Meet the Movie Press, and I'm going to start with an article that I wrote during the main show last night that Christian Harloff dropped.
Yes.
And it has to do with Star Wars, guys, and you want to talk about this. So I get it. Sorry, I'm reading the live chat. I'm getting Gregory Castillo getting already Reilly waiting for the news. Okay, I don't even know what that means. Top 10 show is amazing. Okay, good. You guys are following along. Awesome. All right, so last night, Christian Harloff, main schmo on Schmoes Know, who created it many, many years ago, finding great success, drops this scoop. Now, I'm classifying it as a rumor because, it might not pan out. However, it sounds very legit. At first, I kind of got really upset last night on the main show. I was like, no, we can't do this. This can't happen in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
And it's been basically, Christian is reporting that there is going to be a post-credits.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, it's not going to be a post-credits scene like Marvel, where it ties to, say, Episode 8. Like, shows like a scene like they do in all the Marvel movies. And it's actually going to be a scene. Now, this is what Christian is hearing: a short scene and a short teaser for Rogue One. Okay?
Yeah.
Now that makes First, my gut reaction was like, no, that's breaking tradition. Ken Napzok, the pit boss, agreed with me that's just not happening in a Star Wars movie. Now, I get it's not connected to the bigger universe.
Yeah.
But it still feels forced.
It does feel a little bit and predictable.
And predictable. Disney. Yep. That's exactly what I think as well. However, what I will say flip it over on the other side of things, it makes a lot of sense. Rogue One is a movie that I believe they're saying it's Rogue One.
Yeah.
That's the title. And there's a Star Wars story.
Yeah.
It changed from anthology to a Star Wars story. So there might not be a lot of awareness for this because it actually takes place right before A New Hope.
Yeah,
so it's
right before.
Yeah, so it's going to look like the original Star Wars. There's going to be some characters in there from A New Hope. So maybe it's Disney / Lucasfilm wanting to raise awareness for their movie, and they have a $4 billion investment to look after.
Yeah.
So they want this to be successful. And so what are they going to do? They're going to target the people that already have their butts in the seat for episode 7.
Exactly.
Okay, so Alex, what do you think of this? You kind of mentioned the predictability of it.
It is predictable, but if it's more of a teaser and not necessarily, a scene like Thanos picking up a glove or something like that. If it's actually a teaser or even just a short scene, I'll be okay with it because the movie comes out a year from now, soon.
Right.
And around this time was when the first Star Wars teaser came out.
That's right.
So it would make sense that they're going to release it not online, but with Force Awakens because more people will see it.
Yeah, I agree.
And they'll see it multiple times.
They will, because I will be in the theater multiple times. And
so many times. So many formats.
I know. And as I laughed about last night, I'm like, I will watch it. Like, even though I was a little upset, I was like, no, I will watch this. And I get it. I get it. This is not the world we're living in 1977 anymore, where the original movie comes out and then when the credits roll, you walk out of the theater.
Yeah.
It's not even 1983 with Return of the Jedi. It's not even 1999 or 2005 with Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. So I get it. This is what the world we live in, and they're trying to get Star Wars out there. Say what you will, but Star Wars is back. We know that already, so they're going to try everything in their power to make sure Rogue One is successful.
And understandably. I mean, I can't wait for Rogue One. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah.
The cast is amazing. The premise is awesome.
It's a perfect premise.
It's and the thing I like about Rogue One is that it doesn't feel like a forced thing. It's not like, here's Han's story being born. Which I'm still worried about with the young Han Solo movie.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah, me too. I really hope they don't go there.
Although I do think Kathleen Kennedy said that they're not going to do that.
Yeah,
which I'd be okay with.
I believe she did say. I believe it's like young Han Solo is like, we're not talking like 10 years old. We're talking like 1920. Yeah,
which would be great.
Yeah.
But I like the fact I want to see them steal the Death Star plans. That's cool. That's a story I want to see, and it doesn't feel like you need to add things to make it interesting.
Right.
It's by itself interesting.
I totally agree. It's a contained story, which I like. It's sure we're in a galaxy far, far away, and a galaxy is huge, but it's these rebels that.
Exactly.
A mighty band of rebels are forming up to take down the Empire, and we know what happens in New Hope. But to get those Death Star plans and that teaser they released at not D23, Star Wars Celebration, was it? Yeah,
it was Star Wars Celebration.
I know that it leaked and it hasn't been out yet, but I did hear that it's like there's the squawking of the over the over
it's like the opening of 0 Dark 30 from what I did tell.
Yeah, and it's such an amazing story to think about, and I like what Gareth Edwards, the director, has said, that the Jedi are not around anymore, and you're going to feel the absence of the Jedi. Now, I've heard rumors that we might see or hear maybe some Jedis, but I don't know. I kind of hope not.
No, I want it to be about bounty hunters or rebels.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
Me too.
I don't need to see.
Me too.
It would just be adding it in for no reason.
Right. And I don't think we need to do it. I think if this rumor, I'm doing the air quotes, rumor is true, and not to say that I don't trust Christian Harloff. I do. We've worked on scoops. You've worked on scoops with
I have.
Christian Harloff that have been correct with some of his sources, but I was just reporting for Christian Harloff on schmozno.com. So I do believe it. I absolutely believe it. I think it can happen. I think it makes a lot of sense. It's not like it's the Marvel thing. I'm gonna get over it that I'll sit through the credits and watch a tease for Rogue One.
Listen, in blockbusters nowadays, there's no such thing as fade to black. Really, it cuts.
Yeah,
like I'm fine with that.
Look, this is a world we're living in now with blockbusters. The connected universe is very popular, obviously, as evidence in our next topic.
Yes.
Skull Island, Skull Island, moving to Warner Brothers. Universal is basically giving them the property because they want to create a shared universe with King Kong and Godzilla. My God.
Awesome.
Now, the Hollywood Reporter dropped that last night right before I came to the main show, and I was looking at it going, oh my God, this is amazing. I actually love it. And
I love it so much.
But it's so obvious, and it's so like following the trends, and sure, but it's like we kind of knew this was going to happen. But
also, it happened first.
Yeah,
like it's already happened.
Exactly.
It's like I'm okay with it. I want to see that.
It's essentially a remake of the 1968 King Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah. And, say what you want about how movies have to keep getting bigger. Planets blew up. Now galaxies have to blow up. Right. I want to see two monsters fight.
Yeah.
I don't care about how much destruction happens. That's something I want to see.
Right.
Like
I do too.
Yeah. It's perfect.
I think it's pretty amazing. We did get into it last night on the main show because it's like it's Godzilla next to King Kong now in this universe. If we know from essentially Peter Jackson's King Kong. Yeah. Okay, and Gareth Edwards' Godzilla that came out in 2014. Godzilla is much bigger than Kong. Yeah. Wouldn't you say?
I would say they're close, but Godzilla is bigger.
I feel like he's like... I feel like it's, I don't know, like Wolverine standing next to...
the Hulk?
Something maybe like that. The Hulk, yeah.
I mean, I think Kong might be stronger and more agile, so that would work. I'd be okay with if Godzilla's like this and Kong's like this, but Kong can fight faster. Yeah, because Godzilla does move pretty slow in the movie.
He does,
and that's okay. He's huge.
Yes, but it's an interesting story. I can't help but like just geek the hell out all over this thing.
Oh, dude, it's gonna be so cool.
I mean, it's just we're kind of like, it's so funny. If I were to like tell my 12-year-old, 10-year-old self, like, you're getting a new Star Wars. You're getting an updated King Kong versus Godzilla. You're getting superhero movies. You're getting a Batman v Superman movie. I mean, the kid in me would just be like, "No, you're kidding."
This is the greatest time ever for nerds.
Absolutely, I really think it is. I mean, the blockbuster is king. Now, the debate. There could be a debate on, original movies versus the brands right now that they're doing, and I can go for days on that and agree with you. But at the end of the day, look, am I not going to see these movies based on principle? No. I mean, it just, all I say is just focus on the story and get it right, and then it's fine, and make it good.
Listen, we all freaked out when the I can't even remember the robots' names in Pacific Rim.
I can't either.
The Jaegers, I think, right?
Right, the Jaegers.
Yeah. Grab the boat and hit the monster in the face with it. If I see Godzilla do something like that to Kong, or Kong run up and tackle him, I'm going to be happy. Yeah. I'm going to lose my mind.
Absolutely.
And that's okay. Like, we need moments like that in theaters, and we also need, the Jay Gyllenhaal character dramas.
Exactly. Yeah, which, guys, go to schmozno.com and check out the Demolition trailer with Jake Gyllenhaal. It just premiered at Toronto. My illustrious co-host raved about it. Yeah, he is there covering TIFF, and he loves it. I mean, that trailer just, the first I would say 30 seconds got me, because it like opens with he's talking about his wife, and then the plot of the movie, he says something, it shocked me, and I was like, oh, I gotta see this.
It's like, oh, it's a guy who's pissed off about a vending machine. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, and I knew the premise beforehand because I've been excited for this movie for a long time now. I think Gyllenhaal will get nominated for it.
Yeah.
And judging by the reactions to it at TIFF, too, I'm kind of surprised Fox didn't have it come out this year.
Right.
But I still think that he might have an opportunity to pull like a Kate Blanchett with Blue Jasmine. That came out in the summer. She still got nominated.
Yeah.
I think she could get nominated for it. And she won.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's not out of the realm.
No, I don't think so either. And people are saying it's one of his best performances he's ever given.
That's amazing. I can't wait to see it. Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal, I know we share this, Mr. Welch, but he was robbed with Nightcrawler. Absolutely
should have
robbed.
won.
He should have won.
Not even just nominated. Should have won, in my opinion.
I think so, too. I mean, who won again? Jeez,
Eddie Redmayne, in Theory of Everything.
Yeah, I mean, I get Eddie Redmayne. I mean, he was phenomenal. And it's a matter of taste. I think this is a very subjective conversation. I just liked Jake Gyllenhaal's performance more in Nightcrawler. It was more interesting.
I thought the movie was better, and I also thought that just he was more enthralling than Eddie Redmayne was, where I could tell it was Eddie Redmayne at points, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But I could never see Jake Gyllenhaal in that character.
Yeah,
ever.
and this is a big conversation as well when you're talking about Oscar caliber performances, but the Academy has universally gone for the actor that has some sort of ailment.
They go for biopics.
Condition, biopic, or, they're playing somebody that is, not all there mentally or maybe physically, so I get it. That does not take away from the fact that Eddie Redmayne killed the part and deserved it.
And they're saying he's even better in the Danish Girl.
God, this guy, are we going to get a repeat like Tom Hanks and who else? Spencer Tracy?
I think it was Spencer Tracy who won.
I think it's Spencer Tracy, Tom Hanks, and maybe Eddie Redmayne. That would be the third in the history of the Oscars to win back-to-back Oscars.
Although I will say I'm more excited for Alicia Vikander in the Danish Girl than I am for Eddie Redmayne even.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, look at this. God, you know your stuff, dude.
This is what I live and breathe, man. Judging from Ex Machina alone, I cannot wait to see what she does every time.
Yeah, and guys, if you haven't seen Ex Machina, that is probably, it's in my top 5 this year. I don't know where it is. It's in the top 5 somewhere, maybe 3. But yeah, Oscar Isaac. It's a great movie, so check it out.
And also, just a quick reference, because nobody seems to be talking about this movie enough.
Sure.
Queen of Earth. It's a small movie from IFC with Catherine Waterston and Elizabeth Moss. Yeah. It's incredible. It's like The Shining meets Robert Altman.
You were talking about this on Twitter, right?
Yeah, it's so good. And I think Elizabeth Moss and Catherine Waterston, if they don't get nominated, it'll be as big of a robbery as Jake Gyllenhaal not getting nominated.
Interesting.
She's amazing in it.
You know who would love you being on the show is Sneider.
Yeah.
Jeff Sneider does not want to always talk about Star Wars and superhero movies, and I get it. I don't either. But this turn from King Kong to Oscar movie talk, and I mean, Jeff would be in heaven right now.
I can play both sides, man.
Yeah, I know you can, because when we were working on Schmoes Know together, like there would be times that Marvel news would drop and we would, rush to cover it, and then we would, be texting, can you believe this is awesome?
Yeah.
So it's really fun. But hey, I'm going to turn to the live chat. We are on youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV, and I'm looking at some live comments in there. Hey guys, why don't we do something? Let's do a hopeful news break.
Yeah.
Right? Let's do a hopeful news break, because do we even have that sound anymore? Oh my God, there it is.
There it is.
It is hopeful news break, guys. We don't do this anymore, actually. It's been a long time before we've done a hopeful news break. Hashtag hopeful news break. It's, guys, what do you want to hear? Break out there in the movie news. What do you want to talk about? A lot of people want to talk about, Star Wars. I saw do you think Lord and Miller, now that they're directing Han Solo movie, that they're not going to direct The Flash? I think that's a pretty good call that they're not. I think they're going to be busy, and I think they're probably going to have the writing credit and actually maybe start a draft, and then it's going to be taken over, and somebody else would maybe writer director will take over. So, guys, hopeful news break. I just dropped it out of there, and Josh Trank for The Flash. Not in a million years.
No,
Bob,
I'm good.
Yeah. So, hopeful news break. Chad Schultz says Nolan's new movie that was just announced. Actually a smaller character movie. I don't know if that's hopeful news break or if Chad Schultz is actually hearing something. I don't think he is. I don't think anybody's heard anything.
I don't think anybody is, and I don't think Warner Brothers is going to let anybody hear anything.
Yeah, Nolan has carte blanche to do what he wants.
Do whatever he wants, man.
Yeah, so we've talked about it on the show a number of times. People would say in Hopeful Newsbreak, I want to know what Nolan's doing next. He is one of those guys who just can do whatever he wants, and we're going to follow along. Say what you will about Interstellar. I happen to love it.
I loved it.
It was fascinating, and I can't wait to see what he does next.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Hopeful Newsbreak.
What would you like to see him do, genre-wise, next?
That is a good question. I don't know.
I know personally, because I don't think he'll be doing Bond by 2017, as much as I would love to see him do a Bond movie.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him do like an old school noir detective movie, kind of like what he did with Memento, but more necessarily straightforward, maybe. Even
in, what was his movie he did with, it took place in Alaska.
Insomnia.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
That was a great...
I'd love to see him come back and do it.
That's a good... I would be down for that, like a character piece, like a noir, like a crime thing, maybe. He's done this. He's done the superhero. He's done the sci-fi. Inception again is sci-fi. So I would say, that would be my pick as well.
Yeah, I'd like to see him do noir and then do Bond in like 3 years.
Yeah. I'm gonna butcher this name. Tomas Zelenka. Jake Gyllenhaal running for president. That's his Hopeful Newsbreak.
I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay with that one.
I will take that. That is awesome. No, Christopher Nolan to remake The Shining. That guy, I don't want that.
No, I don't want that.
Not because I don't like remakes, and I love The Shining. I don't want to see it be remade, and it already was in a TV thing. But I just want Nolan to keep doing original material.
Yeah, and also The Shining needs to be left alone.
Yeah,
that movie is perfect the way it is. Don't add anything. Like, if it was a remake, they shouldn't change anything about it even, and that would just be pointless then.
Yeah. I agree. Daniel Montgomery says Wonder Woman casting news. This is probably a character that is in the mythology. Hippolyta.
Is that? I think her mom. Don't butcher me.
Yeah,
if I'm wrong,
know.
I think her mom.
We don't know. I am not familiar with the mythology of Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
But I think we're gonna be hearing a lot of Wonder Woman.
We're gonna be hearing more Amazon casting news soon.
Absolutely, because it was just reported that was it Heroic Hollywood?
Yeah, they dropped a rumor.
They dropped a rumor that Wonder Woman, that there's gonna be a period piece for like the first part of the movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Like the first half will be World War I.
World War I.
And the second half will be present day.
So that's interesting. I like that. I mean, we kind of talked about it.
Yeah.
How it's like it doesn't go in the Captain America direction. I mean, it is. It's definitely sounds like it with the period piece, but it's not World War II. So.
And also the difference is that Cap got frozen.
Right.
She didn't. She just kept living.
Yeah. From what we're hearing. I guess we should have done this before. Spoiler alert, I guess. If you're listening at home, you should probably turn away. I don't know. I think I probably already ruined it anyways. But spoiler alert, but we're hearing that she's like already 200 years old or something like that.
Yeah, by the time we meet her in Batman v Superman, she's apparently at least 200 years old.
I like that. I can't wait to. I mean, she looks phenomenal in Batman v Superman. I can't wait to hear her speak.
I really hope she knocks it out of the park. Because everyone doesn't think she's going to, I don't really think. Mm-hmm. Like, the trailer convinced some people, but even then, she doesn't really do much in the trailer.
Right.
Except for, look awesome. So I just hope she's awesome in it.
Nice. Jeremy Ledger, thank you for dropping this. Hippolyta. He's kind of phonetically out there. Hippolyta, is that it? Is Wonder Woman's mom?
Yes.
Should be Linda Carter. Yes, it should, Jeremy Ledger. That is a great callback.
Yeah.
Great callback. That would be so much fun.
I'd love that.
Yeah, I would love that too. Yeah. And come on. Linda Carter, what is she doing right now? She wants this. She's definitely probably
making a cameo.
Man. Yeah.
Let her have it.
I saw something in the feed that I want to talk about that I really want to happen because I heard about it and I was too busy to cover this on schmoesknow.com. Danny Boyle saying he's going to do Trainspotting 2.
Yeah.
Now, he said that.
He said that he wants it to be his next project. He thinks it will be. The only problem is the cast is so busy, the original cast. Some of them are on TV shows right now. Ewan McGregor is doing movies left and right.
Right.
So he doesn't know when they'll be able to do it, but he wants that to be his next movie. And if Danny Boyle wants something,
he'll get it.
He'll get it.
And this has kind of been rumored for a while. Yes, I want that movie so much, and it probably will be Trainspotting 2 and not the source material, porno.
Well, there's a screenplay already for it.
Yes.
That Boyle says is incredible.
Great.
I think John Hodge is the guy's name who wrote the first one, too.
Yeah, it
and
is.
he wrote the second one. He wrote the screenplay based on the book Porno by the same author as well. Mm-hmm. And it meets the characters years later again.
Yep.
With the porn industry as the back setting this time.
It's an amazing book. Have you read that book?
I haven't read it, no.
Have you read either of the books?
No.
Okay. Get them.
Okay.
You would love them. They're two of my favorite books. Porno was phenomenally awesome. It was one of those surprising. It took you in a direction that I didn't expect.
Yeah.
And it makes a lot of sense. It is screwed up like Trainspotting. And when I say screwed up, I mean like some effed up things are going on in this story, and it's just amazing. So it would be so much fun to... Yep, isn't it called Porno? Yep, that is true. I'm looking at your...
But the rumor is that the movie itself is just called Trainspotting 2.
Yeah, and that's a branding thing. That's because people are going to know the movie Trainspotting, and also Porno, I think it might be...
I don't necessarily think it would just a bit of an audience.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think you're right. And that guy, KJ, Lucy Lawless is Wonder Woman's mom. Yep, that could work too.
I'd be okay with that.
That's a good one too.
I'd definitely be okay with that.
So let's get some more out there that we want to talk about here. Jonas Tiger, Roadhouse won't need to be worse than it already was. I think you're referencing the Roadhouse remake with Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
Is that how you pronounce her name?
Yeah.
I feel so out of it this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's it's definitely capitalizing. She's made the news a lot lately. Obviously, she did her fight and just knocked the shit out of that other girl, and
she's huge. She's huge right now.
Yeah, she came out and put some words to Mayweather, basically challenging him, which I love.
Some desperately needed words too.
Absolutely. So she's in the news, so it makes a lot of sense. I just can't wrap my head around, and I this is not like I just. Are there women bouncers?
Probably. If Ronda Rousey applied, she probably did it.
Yes, absolutely. So Ronda Rousey, I'm not going to do anything.
Do you see the way she throws guys? Yeah.
It's amazing. I don't know if Roadhouse will be like a pure remake where it's going to follow the plots, but it's definitely... I think it's interesting.
Here's the thing. I see Roadhouse the same way I see Big Trouble in Little China. Mm-hmm. It's perfect in the 80s.
Yeah.
Don't remake it. And also, it's Swayze.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with Ronda Rousey. I think she's fun to watch on screen. She's not a good actress by any means.
Yeah,
but it's cool to watch her kick ass. And, the role of Dalton, whatever she's going to be called.
I know. I don't know.
It kicks ass.
What if she's Dalton's daughter? That's where they're going to go there,
That'd be weird.
You're welcome, Hollywood. Take that plot point.
Yeah, I just don't want anybody to remake Swayze roles. Really.
I agree with you. Stay away. Swayze, when he passed away, that sucked. Okay, not to bring it down, but I'm going to go to Gregory Castillo. No, sorry. I'm not going there. Hey, shout out to you, Gregory. Glothery, a user named Glothery. What about Rebecca Ferguson as Captain Marvel?
Oh.
Rumors true. Okay, here's what I'm going to say about that. Yes, I believe it's absolutely true. It comes from Miembe, El Miembe, frequent guest on Meet the Movie Press at Heroic Hollywood. The guy knows his scoops. Listen, they don't all pan out, but what I find interesting is that he has been right so many times. And that when he drops a scoop, or an exclusive, or a rumor even, there's the naysayers out there that said, he's never right. And listen, I will say this about El Miembe. When he drops a scoop, you listen. There's some legitimacy to it. Now, we covered it on schmozeno.com. I absolutely believe that Rebecca Ferguson is up for this part, or maybe at the top of the list. I don't know where. Nobody's really heard if she's screen tested, if there's an offer, if she even wants to do it. And they're talking about the other side of the coin is Emily Blunt. And what El Miembe said yesterday on Twitter, which I agree with, doesn't mean Emily Blunt is out of the running if she's even in for the running. But we've heard this, that it's Emily Blunt. Even Christian Harloff thinks, he has said it last night on the show, that he thinks she could still be getting it. I believe it too. I had a source tell me that it's a done deal. And I don't believe that. I believe it can go either way, and I think they have
a short list of people right now.
Yep.
And I think that's about as close as they're getting. The movie's 3 years away. They have time to cast somebody.
They do, and there's also no director.
No director. No, there is no director. Yeah, you're right.
There's no director. We have some writers, and the writers have left my...
Nicole Perlman, and I can't remember the other person's name.
Perlman, who did Guardians, a draft of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
First draft of Guardians,
draft, so it's a good call on that one.
And I love the Captain Marvel character. I really want her to have a great movie.
Yeah.
And while I would have preferred Emily Blunt for Wonder Woman, I wouldn't be upset if she was cast. Yeah. I said in my report last night on Geek Nation that Rebecca Ferguson is a unique choice. Yeah. She's huge. Yeah. I mean, she's amazing. I know you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I know.
She's amazing in Mission Impossible. She is like a modern day Ingrid Bergman. Yeah. She's great. And she also kicks ass.
So she's perfect for it.
She's perfect for it. And also, the thing is, though, is that like she's Swedish, I think, is her, where she's from. And she is not, like all the other choices, like J.D. Sackhoff, Yvonne Strahovski, Catherine Winnick, Emily Blunt, they all share something sort of in common. They've all played badasses before. Sure. And they've all played characters who are pretty close to Captain Marvel. Ilsa Lund in Mission Impossible 5 is not at all like Captain Marvel. Right. She doesn't play anything like that. And I would be interested to see what she could do with it. It'd be really unique.
Hey, I'm all for it. I'm all for the Captain Marvel movie. I don't know a lot about it because I didn't follow the comics aside from the big crossover events when she would pop in. But I'm excited just because it's a female superhero movie. I know DC is beating them to the punch, but there's really no comparison. Wonder Woman is a lot more recognizable than Captain Marvel, in my opinion. I mean,
she is.
She really is.
Captain Marvel's an underrated character, in my opinion. She's so good. Great. And I hope people pay more attention to her the more time gets closer to it.
I agree. So Brian Fernandez, hopeful news break, team champs will upset team top 10. Thank you. I hope so too.
Is it an upset? Is it?
No, it's not an upset. I think that they could definitely beat us. Like, they're good. They're good.
I'm still placing my faith in you. Well, sorry, Rota, but I'm still placing my faith in you.
I think that they're tough. They could go either way. All right, so something I did want to mention. I saw a hopeful news break that I missed in the feed because you guys are going fast and furious, and I love it. Spider-Man talk kind of gone cold at the moment. Oh, yeah. It has, and I don't think there's any reason behind it other than they're working on it. And they got their Spider-Man.
We know he's in Berlin.
We know he's filmed his part in Civil War. So that's what, we're gonna probably hear about some casting news sooner or later. They're writing the movie right now. But when the news goes cold like this, it means they're writing. Yeah. It really does. It means like they're putting...
It means they're deep in work.
Yep. And sure, they're probably thinking about who they're going to cast, who the villain is, all these sort of things that are behind closed doors. Yeah. I'm sure somebody will hear about it sooner or later. El Miembe, if you're out there, I'm sure you're doing your job. So I'm sure it's going to come out there.
I want to see the suit. That's what I want to see. Yeah. Because that will tell me more about the character than I think anything else could at this point. Yeah. I want to see his Civil War suit.
Oh, that would be amazing. And we don't know if we're getting an Iron Spider.
Which would be so interesting. That's the first or second suit we see him in is the Iron Spider. That'd be huge.
It'd be interesting. The rumors are, and spoiler alert, I guess, these are just rumors and speculation, that, well, first off, it's Spider-Man, but if a kid was putting together a suit. Yeah. That's what they're talking about.
Yeah, there's been rumors that he's like in a hoodie. Yeah. And jeans, and I'd be cool with that.
Me too.
I'd be so okay with that.
And then the rumor continues that the Avengers essentially pick up on him, or Tony Stark, or Captain America, one of those things, provide him the suit. Yeah. We don't know if that's Iron Spider, if they're going to follow the source material, or if it's going to be the suit we all know and love.
Yeah, and I guess maybe spoiler warning, I don't know anything for sure. From what I'm hearing is that he's going to switch sides in the movie too. Because we saw that concept art that was released that seemed to confirm who the sides are. Yeah. And Spider-Man wasn't there. For reasons they probably don't want to show us what he looks like yet. Yeah. And also, I think he's going to be a deciding piece in the movie. I think him and Scarlet Witch will be people that are going to be like fighting for.
I agree. And I can actually comment on that as well. I do have a Marvel source. I'm not going to publish it or anything because it's just a rumor, but I do have a source that was right before, and he said that a big portion of the movie in Civil War is fighting over Scarlet Witch.
Which makes sense because she's so powerful.
She's so powerful. They essentially want her on the team, on their team. Okay. So it's a back and forth. That's a plot element I've heard. Who knows?
I've heard that. I know there have been reports that there's going to be a scene where Spidey fights with Cap.
I've heard, yeah.
Which, let's face it, Spider-Man would win.
Yeah,
just saying.
He would win,
but he probably won't win in the movie. But
yeah,
if that happens, I've heard it from numerous people. I think Faraci at Birth of the Movie's Death was the person who published that scoop, but I'm not sure.
Might be. Dalton Johnson is asking me a question, and I think it's kind of interesting. Mark, can you give us a breakdown of what your job is at Schmoes? Jeez. Well,
basically involves a computer.
Yep.
And your fingers.
Yep. So basically, I've fallen into the Facty McFacterson editor-in-chief role on schmoesno.com. So most of my work is schmoesno.com, and what that means is I make sure that there's content every day. I send emails to writers. I find writers. I write articles myself. I talk to people who know news. I have sources that I talk to regularly to find out if there's some scoops. I work with Christian Harloff a lot on scoops and exclusives. What else do I do? I also run all the ads on schmoesno.com. The advertising we do get, we have a couple companies working with us that provide ads that keeps the lights on that website. That's kind of it.
It's a lot of managing too.
It's a lot
of writing, and it's a lot of managing.
A lot of managing, absolutely. I mean, I'm basically talking to my writers, and we have about 9 or 10 now. I talk to them almost every day via email, making sure that, hey, if something like yesterday, I was pretty busy with my other job, because my other job is basically producing. I worked with a production company for a very long time on a couple of things and producing wise. So I'll be able to talk more about that in about a month, I say. And something big's coming on the horizon as well with schmoes.com that's going to be very interesting, as I teased. So that's kind of what I do.
It's basically sitting in front of a computer. Mm-hmm. It's like after you ask a girl out and you're waiting for a text message.
Yeah.
You're just waiting for something to happen. Right. And then if you can take it, you take it. And if somebody else has to take it, then you make them take it, basically.
Exactly.
It's just jumping on stuff.
Yeah.
And then managing in the background.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then another part of it is, of course, the main show, and then Meet the Movie Press as well, that came as a spinoff. But on the main show, I guess you could call me a character, but I'm just me sitting there talking like I would normally now or with friends. And I've known Christian Harloff since 1999. We waited tables together, so it's been really fun being on the main show. And like all of us do on the main show, we just do whatever we can to make sure it runs smoothly. I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
I will sometimes post on the website a scoop like I did last night. Sometimes I'll book a guest depending on what happens. Sometimes I'll go move something to make sure the cameras are right. We all just work together and have fun on the main show. So that's kind of vague, but whatever.
And his rants, by the way, people who think it's maybe bits, they're not. They're real.
It's true.
I've experienced them many times.
It's very true. If I rant about something, it's not, it's just because it's coming out of me because
We've
pissed.
ranted to each other many times.
Absolutely.
Text message, phone call, anything.
Yeah. I believe the last time, the most memorable for me is when we discussed Amazing Spider-Man 2 and yelled and screamed at each other on the phone because it sucked.
Spider-Man is my favorite.
Uh-huh.
And there was so much good about that movie, and then the rest of it sucked. And it made me so divisive inside that I thought I was gonna lose my mind.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, Sony.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's what a letdown. So we want to talk about a little bit more news because there's been some big ones out there that dropped. Obviously, the Star Wars scoop that Christian did. There was some Scarlet Witch that we didn't really touch on, other than she might be a big piece of the puzzle as far as plot. She also came out recently. Yeah. Elizabeth Olsen. Right? Yeah. I don't know. Today I'm very foggy in the head if I'm getting names
fine.
Right. But she came out and said there's a very dark tone to
she said it's
Civil War.
It's very psychological in the way it gets into the heroes' minds, which is good. It's about philosophies more than anything else.
I love this, and I love that the Russo brothers are there steering the ship, because we got such an amazing Captain America and Winter Soldier.
My favorite still.
It's still my favorite. And to then go into a darker place, and I know this is kind of Avengers 2.0,
But
or
at
not
the same
2.0.
time, it's not.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it is really going to focus on Cap, and if Elizabeth Olsen, what she's saying is it's like kind of a darker, Cap, in Cap's head, good versus evil, I don't want to like give up my liberties, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Who knows where they're going with the actual Civil War, because in the source material, it's about secret identities.
Yes, which they can't do in the movies.
They can't do in the movie because everybody's identity is known, aside from Spider-Man, so we don't know.
Aside from Spider-Man and
maybe
aside
Black Panther.
from Black Panther and aside from...
Yeah.
I mean, people just don't know.
Right. Yeah, we don't know yet, but I love the idea that it's going to be a darker tone. I think it's interesting if they're going from the period piece superhero movie in Captain America: First Avenger to the a kind of political thriller in Winter Soldier, and then this is a dark kind of.
I'd say like a bit of like a psychological, but also literal war.
Yeah,
like it's going to be interesting.
I can't wait.
What do you think about the teams, by the way? Because a lot of people are like, Cap is way outmatched, and I didn't have that reaction when I saw them.
I didn't have that reaction either. What are the teams? Break it down.
It's so Iron Man is Iron Man, War Machine, Black Widow, Vision, and Black Panther. I think.
Yeah.
I think that's all of them. And then Cap is Cap, Ant-Man, Hawkeye, Winter Soldier, Agent 13, aka Sharon Carter, and Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Did I already say Hawkeye? I don't know.
I can't remember.
And people were like, oh, they're way outmatched. And listen, the only person, first of all, I think Ant-Man could kick all of their asses.
Yeah, he can.
I think he could beat all of them except for Vision. And
Right.
Vision is the one like really overpowered player on Iron Man's side, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's true. I love the teams. I think it's going to be very interesting to see. And, I mean, what can we say? It's Marvel. They're kicking butt lately.
Yeah.
And with that, we got to wrap it up. We got to end the show. Alex Welch, finally I get you on, my friend.
Finally.
You're writing at geeknation.com. Go check it out. Geeknation.com is an amazing site.
Yeah,
I have
please.
a lot of respect for that, for what they do. Of course, Tiffany Smith and John Roca are on geeknation.com with Far, Far Away. I dropped in there last week. Alex has dropped in there. Christian Harloff just dropped in a couple days ago. So go to geeknation.com, check it out. They're our friends. And as always, visit www.schmozno.com. And where can the good people find you, Alex?
You can find me, again, on geeknation.com and on schmozno.com.
Yep.
And you can find me on Twitter at Alex R. Welch.
Nice. And I am at Riley Around. You can see me on schmozno.com on the main show every Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the Popcorn Talk Network. Here you can see, of course, Meet the Movie Press. And be sure, rate, subscribe. Once you subscribe on the iTunes, like I say, it keeps the lights on here in the spaceship. I love it. So, guys, thanks for joining us. Tweet out at the Sneider. Say you missed him and that we're looking forward to talking about TIFF next week. We'll see you then.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.